The students who enroll in UTP, 83% of them having straight A's. The students are getting smarter and smarter. You are dealing with the smarter students, genius students.
It's not just only how we solve the engineering problems, but how do we solve the problems within the engineering itself. So that requires different skill sets.
Assalamualaikum and good day. Welcome to UTP Exchange, where ideas converge. Today we are discussing engineering without borders. Why tomorrow's engineers need a different education. Let me share the context. Engineers of tomorrow will face challenges that are more complex, global, and interconnected than ever before. Success will require more than technical expertise. It will require collaboration, adaptation, and the ability to work across disciplines and cultures. So, how should engineering education evolve to prepare students for this future? That's what we will explore today. With us today is Associate Professor in Senior, Dr. Zahira Niza Mustafa, Chair of Integrated Engineering Department, University Technology Petronas, UTP. Welcome, Dr. Zahira.
Thank you so much, Encik Nain.
In UTP, when we mention chair, it doesn't relate to table or chair. She's basically head of department for integrated engineering program.
Right.
So how are you, Doc? How do you feel
good.
today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm very good.
Okay.
I heard nowadays you are into running hobby. Is that right?
Past tense. A few years ago, I tried to stop because of health condition and everything. But I'm more into weightlifting a little bit here.
Oh, all right.
Trying.
I'm very excited today because this is my first podcast. The topic is very interesting and we have the right and relevant guests. That's why I decided to wear my best attire. Why do you think I'm wearing F1 jacket?
I'm not so sure. Are you going to be involved in F1 soon?
I wish. As you know, so F1 will be in Malaysia, coming to Malaysia this October.
Okay.
And I believe most of us, if not all of us, are excited for Formula 1 in Malaysia.
I'm sure.
All right.
I'm sure.
Okay, Doc, before we go to more serious questions, as a warm-up question, based on the title, Engineering Without Borders, why tomorrow's engineers need a different education? So, from your perspective, what does it mean, engineering without borders?
Okay, this one comes very close to my heart. Thank you so much, Encik Nain. The word borders is very interesting. It's a very interesting word because some people see borders as across countries, across geography. But in the engineering context, Encik Nain, we try to see things, how students are supposed to be, how supposed to think and act beyond tomorrow, beyond today. So that is like when we want to see what will be the new characteristics or attributes in order to prepare them for the day after today. Because the common engineering mindset, ladies and gentlemen, which I always receive, what will they do now? What will they do now? But sometimes we forget what is happening now, which is going to also influence the future. Because the future is going to be very complex, Encik Nain. How complex it is? As we speak, things are changing. Suddenly, we heard energy transition in the global space, and then digital transformation and sustainability, and very recently, it's about community resilience. Community comes into practice now, but we still have to solve the engineering problems. But the question now, it's not just only how we solve the engineering problems, but how do we solve the problems within the engineering itself? So that requires different skill sets.
All right.
And the normal traditional still intact. We have to be able to do and design like an engineer. But can we think? The system thinker. Can we have the collaboration and communication? Can we listen to people? It's not just about us. So these attributes are somehow the gaps. And industry has spoken about that.
Yeah.
But how do we, as educators, should be rebranding? I like this word, rebranding and reimagining engineering education. So how should we rebranding and reimagining the next engineering education? So that is the question that we have to ask as an institution.
Yeah. So that's interesting when you touch about the new skill set and then the expectations, even the capabilities of engineers may be different. Additional capabilities may be required. You mentioned some of it, and can you elaborate what are the capabilities, especially beyond technical expertise?
Correct.
Yeah.
In this current engineering world, in this current world, the whole global, we have to understand our first biggest enemy is the robots.
Robots.
We have to live with them because we have to use the phones all the time. If you ask questions, there was a statistic saying that a person checks the phone 200 times in a day.
Wow.
So I asked this question to students. Students tried to deny, but I told them, can you live without phones? The answer is no. But how do we, especially the engineers, work closely to be still relevant to these changes of robotics and AI? Everything is into AI now. But how do we make our life to be parallelly important or more important, more relevant and significant? So that is one of the things that we have to inculcate into the new skill sets. So for us, when we have done our checks last time, we check with the industry what would be the kind of thing that they want. So the answers does not come from us, but they want someone to be agile, change, adapt. Whenever you put them, they have to just suit the condition, agile. And then that goes to the dynamic as well, because in the industry, everything changed rapidly. Even in Petronas, changed rapidly. We got to adapt. Number two, you have to be able to communicate and collaborate. You have to be able to work in a team. It's not just us anymore when solving an engineering solution. So when you talk about this, it will be multidisciplinary. So the person has to be able to have the prospect of doing things multidisciplinary. So that is when they've got to connect the dots, they've got to connect with different work scope. And most importantly, they have to be humanized, because the world is getting old now. But how do we solve something, produce solutions that is humanized enough to cater the needs of people? So in short, in the coming forth of engineering solutions, all these contexts have to be taken into place. It's always about the people. It's about how you think. I think both of us have been in the Malaysian context where we love to memorize.
Yep.
And when during exams, we just vomit things on the papers. And for me, when I step out the the exam hall, I forget everything. But what has happened to our education system that now is the time for us to redo and undo things. So this is when us UTP is trying to change little things. It's still not too late, I think, because the tertiary education is when they become wiser and matured.
Yep.
And with this little effort in UTP, we want to shift things so that we can develop their system thinker. That is the most important thing, because we have been the followers so much of all the technology innovation in Germany, in Holland. I graduated from Holland as well. But it's time that Malaysian engineers should also produce something for the betterment of society. How do you innovate? How do you produce and give solutions to different aspects of lives? I think that's how the kind of skill sets that we have to have in the new norm of engineering education.
The audience or the viewers will challenge us saying, how do you know? How do you know? You as a university, how do you know? But as you know, UTP itself is a university that born from industry, by industry, for industry.
Right.
Even I think back 3 years ago, when Petronas asked this question, what's next for UTP?
Oh, yeah.
How do we elevate our role as a university, okay, especially in engineering education,
Right.
for the society, for the nation, even maybe to solve some global issues.
Right.
So there is a tall order. 3 years ago, they established project called Project Clarity. So they are clear that they know what kind of engineers that they would like to produce with certain attributes, which later you will elaborate. I myself involved in the next project, in the agile implementation.
Yes.
It's called Project Phoenix.
Okay.
We were together in
Correct.
this project.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So I would say that this project is quite comprehensive, end to end. It involves various officers, personnel from various backgrounds. People from finance, people from HR, people
right.
from corporate
right.
com, and of course from academia. So we work together, to develop this program, what we call integrated engineering. So it's not by chance, and it's not just for the purpose of mix and match certain disciplines, but it comes with the purpose, to breed new type of engineers.
That's right.
So it's called integrated engineering. So my next question will be, why did UTP introduce this program?
Okay. Yeah. So UTP is an institution closely driven by Petronas, but the beauty of UTP is like we always into the forward thinking. As an institution, we always want to be relevant, and we like to see what is next, especially us into engineering and technology. What is next into engineering and technology education? So at that time, Petronas tried to check and balance what are the gaps, what are the gaps in the current graduates. So it was into the heavy analyzed task force. There were several items that seems to be the lacking things into our current graduates. One of them is the design thinking. They cannot think properly. When you give them a solution or a project, when they are just graduate, the previous graduate just say, how do I start with this? There was no questions being asked in my tutorial because it was just a new thing. But then Petronas said, how do we make this or undo this? So that is when they said the integrated engineering must come place to answer to all these pain points of the industry, because we drive very closely with the industry side by side in order to create the nation, because we are building the capability of people for our own country. So when they think integrated engineering, as per our definition, we have to understand, Cik Nan, integrated engineering elsewhere may have different definition, but for us, our institution has declared the strongest fields of UTP are chemical, mechanical, and electrical. And when we look at how the next future of industries look like, everything always seems to be working in a system. So the question asks, how is a system solution engineer able to provide solutions? And if they are working in silo, they may not be able to cross discipline and understand each other. So that is when the integrated engineering was defined in the relationship of combining the three, chemical, mechanical, and electrical, to bring life to a system solution which is everywhere. If you look at every sector of the engineering industry, and we did talk to the industry 3 years ago.
Yeah, 100 of them.
100 of them. So they like this kind of new breeds. But it's worth to mention that we are not competing with any other single engineering disciplines, because when we check in the geographic content of Malaysia, there are some sectors who love to have this new breed of engineers because of the nature of their business. So the scope of work of each engineering industry matters, and from there they know what kind of engineers that they want. Because for integrated engineering, we have the T-shaped model where the three elements of engineering, chemical, mechanical, electrical, are intact. We have to follow the Board of Engineers Malaysia. Whatever the courses they say, we have to put in. But how do we bring them to life matters. And that is our secret recipe. And along in the T-shape, there is also one thing, because we want to have humanized engineers. Cik Nan. So we have the liberal arts, humanity. So that is our strongest T-shape. That is the breadth. But the depth is how we inculcate the values, the skill sets, how they think, how do they solve project-based learning. Project-based learning is our key, because this is when they try to solve real engineering problems as they grow from year 1 until year 4. So we go deep and we try to bring the values inside them, and so that they will become able to work in cross-discipline, because projects in the real world are always cross-discipline. For example, EVCA, Cik Nan. EVCA has what? Chemical, electrical, mechanical. So that is an easiest example how a system solution is. I can explain more about other contexts, but as simple as an EV car, when you see 3 heads in 3 disciplines integrate together. So now we are working closely with robots, AI. So our integrated engineer also goes deeper into the depth of the T, looking into data analytics a bit, AI as well. And most importantly, how they are able to work in a team. This one, the values, the people element is hard. You have to design how to make engineers working very comfortably, because there are conflicts everywhere. But along the way, the T-shaped model of integrated engineering remain intact, because we know the breadth of knowledge, of the body of knowledge, we do not compromise, but we go deeper into how we want to inculcate the values inside. So you can try to compare how, because I have a graduate 1 year old now, try to compare the 1 year old integrated engineer with another discipline, try to see how they bring themselves. Maybe that is a little example that we can showcase to see how the values are different that we want to inculcate in this new program.
Yeah. Amazing when you explain about the T model. Actually, it's also answered the question when we launched the program back in 2024, right? So I read all the comments on social media. One of the comment mentioned or stated that this jack of all trades.
Okay.
So actually, there's nothing wrong with the code, but it's not finished. It's unfinished code. Jack of all trade, master of none, oftentimes better than master of one. It means that if you have a multidisciplinary, you have multiple skills.
Correct.
In fact, it's very beneficial. It's very useful, to solve especially the global or industrial problems.
That's so true.
Okay, back to integrated engineering. So of course, program new like this, first in Malaysia. Okay, of course we are proud to be introducing this program first of Malaysia. In fact, it was supported all the way by Board of Engineers Malaysia, and they even have pathway for the career. Of course, I'm going to ask about the career prospect as well.
Okay.
But this program is, to me, is very desirable, it's logical. And in fact, it's easy for me to market the program. When I syndicated with some parents who came for the interviews, right? They said, this is what the industry want. It's desirable.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
The program itself is desirable. And I would like to share one story. This particular student, we interviewed her together, and she was chosen to further study in integrated engineering. At that time, the sponsorship offerings were not out yet. But she said, never mind, I'll just go under self-paying student.
Right.
Okay, she got integrated engineering. And when unfortunately, when the sponsor offered her the program in other program, other engineering program, even though she almost completed 1 semester in UTP, so she was quite sad. And she even appealed to UTP, to the sponsors, that she said, I'm willing still continue integrated engineering. And I'm willing even to pay the difference in terms of the cost.
Wow.
So that's how desirable is the program.
Yeah, that is so true, Cik Nan, because we like to shift the mindset of our people, because some people always say present and current, and but there are people who sees the future. That is the beyond cross borders, because whatever that we are grooming now is for that aspect. In the 5 years coming, where will they go? Where will they fit in? How will they survive into this digital world as an engineer? And amazingly, one of my students went to a very strong scholarship interview. And in that sense, they were having several engineering disciplines and himself as the integrated engineer. But at that juncture, the person from an industry who was supposed to be just checking around, asking around, but he said, in the industry, we need more people like him.
Yeah.
So the change of mindset to see the needs for future is very important. And yes, this program is very desirable, and the value that we bring, they are versatile. The jack of all trades too. It's very interesting, isn't it? But coming back to the last phrase too, what is it again?
Oftentimes better than the master of one.
Than the master of one. So that one, if you check against ChatGPT, for example, the explanation is very simple. The versatility is more valuable as compared to a one person who just not know many things. So that is when integrated engineer will be very relevant. So that in that context. So yes, it is desirable, but because our program is into quality more rather than quantity, so ladies and gentlemen, it's only meant for 50 a year. Per cohort per year.
Very selective.
Very selective.
Yeah, not only academic results, but we also had online assessment.
Correct.
Where we evaluate in terms of cognitive ability.
Correct.
And also personality traits. Correct. Certain traits that we are looking for.
Yeah.
Not any student.
No, it's not all. And even us, when we teach them, we are not just a normal lecturer in the class, because we are the mentor, we are also the coach.
Yeah.
We have to know them in and out, because we are grooming them to have the T shape too, the values. How do you bring the values into reality? That one is not straightforward. That one is not easy. So it requires amount of energy from the lecturers as well. And I'm happy in UTP we have all the resources, we have all the support to assist us in making this program a successful one, inshallah.
Talk about the uniqueness and value proposition of this program. One of the value proposition, career promise. And of course, new program like this, the parents and the students will be asking, what kind of job, what are the career prospect opportunities for this kind of new program, which is might be alien to them. So how do we convince them?
Okay. I like to go back to the very first day when we met the Board of Engineers Malaysia. That's the father, so-called, of all engineers in Malaysia. So we check and balance with them. We want to produce this kind of graduates. How do you feel about it? They were so excited because they know there's a need, but there was no takers yet. So UTP was one of the earliest to answer to this call. And when we check back, where will they go? So we prepared the pathways. Okay, so in short, these graduates will be able to solve as a system engineer solution. Because they are able to see all aspects and domain. And this role may be different in different business entity and different sectors. But I can just name, it can be a project engineer, it can be a maintenance engineer who sees instrumentation and control engineer, because all these things requires the three disciplines, the different domains. But amazingly, the beautiful things about this program, yes, when they graduate, they will have to register themselves under the pillar of integrated engineer. So their GE, graduate engineer, will be called integrated engineer. Everybody will be doing the same. But they have the choice whether they want to try into this chemical sector business, because they can do. Because we equip them with the basic core required by the Board of Engineers Malaysia, so they can do. And then let's say they don't like it. After 2 years, they want to try electrical business, semiconductor. And then they go, and then they love it. and say, this is my field, because they can do.
Mhm.
And when they love it, they want to become a professional engineer in IR. So they will just choose that aspects, that discipline, and they will just submit their documentation to the Board of Engineers Malaysia into the electrical domain.
Mhm.
So they will become an IR into a specialized one. But when they just graduated from university, they can just become an integrated engineer, graduate engineer. But they have the choice to go into each of the domain because they have the knowledge. And whenever they are comfortable with one, they want to venture more, develop themselves, then they can submit their documentation and become an IR in chemical or electrical or mechanical. That's how the flexibility that this program also give to the pathways upon graduation.
Yeah.
So parents should not worry about this because the program is highly acknowledged by the Board of Engineers Malaysia. We follow closely to the accreditation purposes.
Yeah.
Because we have to build with values. We have to have a purpose in whatever we do. It's not a top-down, like you said. But whatever that we do, it has certain value proposition and intention. And it's always to be relevant to the next world. Yeah.
In fact, I still remember when we conducted the conclave where we invited the industry together. We even asked, with this kind of education, curriculum, what kind of the prospects, career prospects. And they are very, supportive and very excited. And they list down all the possibilities. There are many actually that they can fit in terms of career in the industry. Just now you mentioned about integrated engineering, the reason why we introduced this program, and of course the career prospect. And this actually answers some of the parents' concern. If I invested for my child education in this program, okay, there's a career promise. Even besides becoming engineer, they also can become entrepreneur because of the curriculum in the program itself. We're going to talk a bit more on the curriculum and in terms of delivery, teaching and learning.
Okay.
And just to share with you some of the facts, the challenges that you're going to face in 2025, the students who enroll in UTP, recruited by UTP, 83% of them having straight A's.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Second fact, even recently we had a MOU, memorandum of understanding with Ministry of Education to take a lead in terms of pendidikan pintar cerdas.
Right.
Means that there's opportunity in the future that gifted and genius students
Yes.
will come on board at
That's good.
UTP,
That's good.
inshallah. The third fact, because now joining into UTP is getting more stringent in a way, not necessarily academic result. So I would encourage anybody with even a few A's to apply because we are looking for certain traits. Okay, so the uniqueness of our admission, so not solely based on results alone. With these three facts and insights, okay, how do you feel? This also means that the students are getting smarter and smarter. You are dealing with the smarter students, genius students,
So true.
which if you talk about knowledge,
Yeah.
maybe they are more knowledgeable than you. They are smarter than you. They are more critical than you.
Oh, yes.
So how do you manage this type of new generation?
Okay. Yes, these generations, my dear students, are not so straightforward. Whatever I learn and whatever I have used to teach back in 20 years ago, it's not suitable for this generation anymore. Because generations, their attention lifespan is very short, and they're curious. Because the admission office, your good self, has taken the good ones, and when they come, they know what they want. They know what they want in life, and they are curious. They start to read by themselves. They try to learn and adapt very quickly, and they come back to us. How do we do this, madam? How do we do this, madam? So in my classroom now, we have a lot of them. But in order to make them see what they want to see, especially into engineering context, number one, the technical part, I like to touch two things. technical and non-technical. The technical part, you cannot just give them normal assessment. They love to do project-based learning because this generation, they like to think and solve, but they love to look at the real problems outside. So the beauty of this program is when we bring along a lot of real projects to them. They work really hard, Encik Nine. They work really hard because the nature of the work, and they have to adapt with teamwork. Sometimes they fight with each other, we know, resilience, but they have to resolve conflicts. But then these two things, they work very hard, but they come with very nice innovation solutions, and we will always appreciate them. So how we handle them in class? One of them is about the technical is very straightforward. You bring them to the right context for their knowledge, because they are very curious. Project-based learning is one of them. We bring them to outside the classroom a lot. And it's not just a normal field trip that we do, but the field trip also has a purpose. For example, they went to Proton when they were just 4 weeks old. Kecil lagi. When they were just 4 weeks old, they went to Proton, but it was supposed to be a field trip. But the good thing about that trip was that they have already worked before things and then they came and they said, okay, this is the pitch of solution that we want to give to you because of one problem statement that you give. So it is a very close engagement with the industry. So industries and them, you cannot split them because they are thirsts of knowledge and they are thirsts of real experience, and we cannot give. Lecturers, no technical, but you have to bring them to the right audience, make them feel, make them do, make them solve. So that was like Proton Challenge. And during my class, last time fluid mechanics, we call it fluid synergy, I have asked them to go to one little village in Botter nearby. But I said, let's just draw a little pipeline system that conveys the water from the river into a community.
Yeah.
So you let them do, even though that time they were just 2 semesters old. And also when they were at 2 semesters old, they have tried to solve problems within UTP. So we make them mature and wise. We say, now let's go to UTP, see what the problems are, find the problems and propose solutions. Go to closely with the design thinking approaches. So from their little effort that they have done in semester 1 and semester 2, and then we've got to follow through their aspiration. Okay, bring them into competition. They do well in the competition. They got little awards, little rewards. So they feel the sweetness of doing things, even though it's hard, but they got rewards. They understand the value behind it. There's a purpose behind it. So in this kind of generation, you got to pave the way, open the door for them to grow. But they know we are not always there to support in everything. There will be one time I say, I will not engage you so much in competitions anymore. But if you are interested to do something, let me know.
So how did they do during the competition?
During the competition, it was WYIE ITEX in May. We sent 3 products.
All right.
And 2 products got gold awards.
Wow.
And they also got special awards. And the other one got silver awards. So
This first year student?
first year student, let's say 2 semesters old students. So they have tasted the sweetness of it. But because we give the way and we treat them with respect. If they do wrong, we say, okay, let's not do this. The do's and the don'ts. Even in my class in Cik Nan, they know when I use this phrase, let's talk. So they know, okay, this is the session where Dr. Zahira will just say something and listen and let's talk, let's debate. So in my classroom, I open up the session to debate. I try to make them think because these current engineers, they have to be able to think. But you cannot just use it in the normal textbook way. You have to inculcate the nature into thinking. So that's how they are doing so far. And I will always open the door. And whatever that they want, they can just say, let me know what is it that you want so that we can groom the pathways for your success stories together since now. So this generation, you have to be their friends. But they also know the do's and the don'ts. But most importantly, what I tell them, always be humanized. Always be humble. Don't be too arrogant and too proud. Because sometimes we are very happy with things, kan?
Yeah.
Little success. But I always check and balance. Let's not do that. Always be humble because your T shape up there is humanized engineer.
Yeah.
So we have to let them know. And from time to time, we always talk about the 6 personas that we want to embed in them.
Yeah.
And they have to know that is one of their responsibilities to uphold to that. Because upon graduation, we will try to check and balance again. Where are you in these 6 personas? Have you developed yourself well, despite whatever opportunities that we have given into the curriculum?
Yeah. From what I've heard from your stories, you sounded not only like like previous traditional academia, people from academia, but you sounded like more mentor, facilitator, as well as maybe stepmother.
It is. I am. I have to be fierce as well at times because they have to be humble. In order to inculcate humbleness and humanized values, they have to know what they have done wrong. So along the way, it is never too late. I like to believe that it's never too late. Even at this age of 19, 20 years old, this generation can still be molded. But the context that you're doing with them, they have to know that you're not just nagging them, but you come with purpose. Along the way, when we bring in industry, for example, we had an adjunct professor early July. He said, if you do not know anything, if your technical is not good, you will not grow. So that is like a big thing coming from an Indian industry person. So let them hear. Because whatever we say may be not relevant to them. But when they hear from the right people, they will see, I have to improve myself. So that's how you have to handle this generation. Not straightforward,
Yeah.
but very interesting.
When you breaking the borders beyond classroom, instead of just educating, teaching them in the classroom, you breaking the borders, let them explore the problems out there, even like when you mentioned about turtle sanctuary. So to me, that is education in action. That is what our topic is all about, engineering without borders, where in IF, or we call it integrated engineer of the future, even the program integrated engineering, there are many jargons. Like you have design thinking, you have living lab. So when you mention about, how you also involve the students in CSR, that is a education in action.
That's
It's talk about beyond the lab. When we talk about lab, we always imagine, there's one place where all together. But now the lab, beyond our physical lab.
Okay, correct.
Even the surrounding communities, the people from industry, they can come in together, co-teaching, all right? And even we are asking people from the villages, what do they need? And not only we excited about the program, but also we want all our surrounding communities to be excited
That's right.
and supportive for this program, because you are venture into the new journey, the new future together. So that's what I thought.
That's true.
The amazing thing about this program.
Yeah. Just to add on to Turtle Sanctuary, yes. They have, in the third semester, they have done little fundamentals of electrical, mechanical and chemical. But then we are there to push them further. Because with that little knowledge, and then we went to Terengganu, Pulau Redang, Cagar Hutang. Because that's where all the turtles come to lay eggs. So, for example, we work very closely with Insta and University of Malaysia Terengganu. And then we told our students, hey, they have problems. The turtles are depleting. And whenever the mother turtles lay eggs, they want to know the gender. Or the gender will only be identified by temperature. So how do you solve this? How can we help? But when you bring in a real problem to them, and now it's turtle, the cute turtle, and in a nice place, so they feel very excited. And I'm hoping they take the full ownership when they are park their flag there And this is my little solution that I have done in my first year. So again, the educators have to open up these pathways because you'll be surprised what they can do. And even one student came to me, Madam, I love that project because the 50 of us solve and come up with the solution, madam. So yes, 50 of them, we classify into 4 groups. Each group had their own role, but they came to do things accordingly. So it is a one class project for that turtle conservation. So yes, very interesting.
Amazing. Good job, Doc. We can talk all day on this topic because, this very interesting, even close to my heart, integrated engineering, where I mentioned to you, we involved together. I was in the marketing part for this special project in developing integrated engineering. So there are many takeaways actually from even 30 minutes that we have discussed so far. But I just bet on this one takeaway, okay? Maybe you can correct me or you can add more, which is it's no longer about whether students can solve engineering problems. It is whether the students can solve problems that transcend engineering itself.
Right. So true. Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. I agree very well. It's a very nice closure because everything that happens in the world are the problems surrounding the engineering and how do we handle it. It will not be as simple as what we think in the textbook. So there is always a need to rebrand and reimagine engineering education in Malaysia. And this program itself is the first starting point. And we look forward to have a different breed of engineers in the future graduated from our institution, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. So hopefully we're going to produce engineers who are resilient, agile, okay, as well as accountable. Okay.
We have a name for that. Young Resilience Adults. That is like hashtag Young Resilience Adults. They are young, they are resilient, but we want them to be adults, matured. So this is the integrated engineers of the future. Hashtag Young Resilience Adults.
Thank you, Dr. Zahira. Thank you for listening. Follow the series of more conversations at UTP. Until next time, see you in the next UTP Exchange.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.